Hi people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanu and I don't make book related videos on the channel. Oh my god, Indian booktuber Manpreet, you're getting in my brain. I need to stop binge watching your videos. Anyways, I might need to figure out another intro for myself. But for now, I am Notorious reader and my name is Tanu, and today I want to talk to you guys about one of my kind of guilty pleasures. So, let me start with a story. I get bored very easily. You cannot keep my attention for a very long time. So, as a child, not a lot of things used to capture my attention very well. And I also found myself understanding concepts and things much more properly when I used to visualize them. Because of which, I fell in love with the wonderful world of encyclopedias. I know in today's world we have Google, so whenever you want to find something, search something, you just Google it. And I understand that it's convenient because even I do that. But back when I was a kid, I used to love going into my encyclopedia. I have a fat one right here. I'll show you. And I used to love browsing through it. There are so many different topics in here. See, hospitals and countries and everything, and I used to love going through them when I used to be free, or when I was curious about things like that. I used to go through index and find the stuff which I'm curious about. But now, fortunately, unfortunately, we have Google, which makes our life very easy. But also people or kids these days definitely miss out on the wonderful, amazing thing that is encyclopedia. That is why I was super excited when I was approached by team of Suvarna Mohur to do a book review for their new coffee table book. So in the starting I was a little bit skeptical because I do not know a lot about history of India, which is very shameful. Also, I don't know a lot about coins. I don't see myself turning into a coin collector. So I was not really sure whether I'll be able to enjoy the book or not, but I wanted to give it a shot because this is a very different concept. They are trying to talk about the history of India, not just India but Indian subcontinent, all the neighboring countries, because they were part of Indian subcontinent at one point or the other, and then also talk about all the different coins of different era. So I was like, I want to give it a shot. If anything, I'll have a pretty book to keep on my coffee table and for guests to entertain, you know what I mean. But let me tell you, when I got this book, I was shocked because look at this. It's huge and it's so beautiful. It came with a floppy this thing which I removed because look at this. Its beauty should not be hidden underneath all that paper. It should be out, it should be glorious, and also you need to see the illustrations. You need to see the beautiful artwork that is there in. So these are the beautiful coins that I have in this book. And for someone who's not a coin collector like myself, I did not know whether I'll enjoy the book a lot or not, but I was in for a surprise. So Suvarna Mohur is an illustrated coffee table book by Arun Ramamurthy, and the book attempts to take us through the different times of Indian history with different type of illustrations and the coins that were made, minted and used by the common folks at that time. So the book starts with Indus Valley civilization before 600 BCE. Also, fun fact, side note, I did not know they have abolished the system of BC and AD. I got to know while reading this, I was like, what is this BCE? Apparently, they have completely not abolished, removed, changed the system of recording the years from BC and AD, which we used to do, to BCE. And it is so strange. So there is a map of Indian subcontinent, right? And this is a brief, kind of description of the time period of India, of what kind of culture was there, what kind of people were living, who was ruling, who was the authority, what kind of basic currency exchange was going on. So the author gives that, and on the next page shows some coins of that system. Again, there's this brief summary of this. All of this gets so beautifully interlinked. It's so amazing. All of these coins, the author actually gives details about very small things, like there's a small idol of this, there are 5 punches here, which explain this is the kind of system that they are following, all that stuff. So all these small descriptions and all these small summaries will give you an example of what was the time period of, what was the social, economic, political environment of that time, and then you move on to the next era, right? Again, there is map of India, the area where that kingdom, where that place or where the power authority was much more concentrated, and then there is a brief description about the kings, the dynasties who were at that time, right? What again, the social, economic, political structure of that time, right? All of that is there. And then on the next page, again, a little bit of description, more coins to talk about the transition period. Sometimes the author also talks about the transitional coins, transition period, small things from this page to the next era. And I was so mind blown, because let me tell you, I feel ashamed that being an Indian, I do not know a lot about history of India. I have heard the names of Ashoka, Chandragupta Maurya, I've heard about Akbar, Birbal? Yeah, Birbal. No, not Birbal. Not See, this was my knowledge of history basically. I have heard names here and there, but the only thing that I actually learned about history of India was probably post-colonial India, which is not the best time for a country. Probably the reason why most of the India feels that inferiority complex is because that is what we're taught in school. We are always taught that we were ruled by only British. Did you know we were at one point in history ruled by Greeks? I got to know about it in my mind, like India. Portuguese were the first people to actually reach India, like European people to actually reach India, and not British. And then there were French, but eventually it was the British who were able to like surpass all of them and defeat them and eventually take over India. But my point is, our history is so rich culturally and it's so diverse that we are not even aware of where our roots are. I feel like it's much more important to know about history of India, amazing dynasties that ruled here, and who had who left such an amazing, such a culturally rich imprint into the Indian subcontinent. That is why we are secular. That is why we do not know where we come from, right? It's so important to teach this kind of history, and since our history is so rich, sometimes gets so overwhelming to know where we actually come from, or there are so many kings, so many dynasties that it gets difficult, or you get overwhelmed with so much of details. And that's what probably happened with me too, that I never understood a lot of history of India properly or in a sequence, because there is so much there, right? But this book literally changed that a notion for me. I'll be very honest, it doesn't go into a lot of details, but it still gives you enough details to give you, an idea of from one king to the other, and then this king somehow he had this downfall because some of the another invaders were attacking them, or because they had this issue, and then this dynasty came and those dynasties were, So my point is, I'm clearly not doing enough justice to this review, but if you want to get a cohesive idea of what Indian subcontinent history is, I would highly suggest you to check this book out, because it completely blew my mind. I did not expect to enjoy it this much, and clearly this is now one of my favorite encyclopedias from all of this much. And this book not only captured my interest I was able to have a discussion with my mother. I was talking to other people. I was telling them, do you know where we come from? What we are actually? And the author did such a tremendous job, so much of research, little minute details, and then to present it in a way in which a reader will not feel overwhelmed, and a reader will be able to understand how the different stages progressed. I feel like the author put in so much of hard work, so much of respect. Reading more and more Indian authors, reading more and more about India's culture in last 1 year, mythology, history, or mythological fiction, historical fiction have truly opened my eyes to how much we are completely unaware about where we are living. I will leave the link to the website of this book, and I think this is also available on Amazon. I will leave all the links in the description. I would highly suggest you to check it out. Don't forget to check out my other links. I am available on all the other social media. Also, are you watching and are you not subscribed? Because like, please subscribe, it helps me out a lot. And if you do want me to talk more about India's culture, India's history, also more local authors, the old classic Indian authors, I would love to read that. And I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.